Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna do a quick video about the settings that I use in Apex Legends on console. I play on PS4 Pro, and hopefully you guys can, try these settings out for yourself and see if they improve your gameplay. Let's start from the top. Gameplay. I'm going to go briefly over these really quick, just because most of them are pretty unimportant. I have interact prompt style set to compact. When it's on default, it just makes all the descriptions of guns and different things much larger on the screen. I like to be able to see more, so I keep it on compact. Button hints off. Crosshair damage feedback, X with shield icon. Damage number I have set to both. A lot of people have this on stacking, but me personally, I prefer it on both, just because I just like it. It gives me a total number of damage that I do per string of hits that I land, so I know exactly what I hit. So if I hit the guy for 80 and then I hit him again for 100, I know I hit him for 180. I don't have to do extra math, right? Anyways, ping opacity I have it set to faded. Obituaries on, minimap rotation off. I used to have it on, but I recently switched it back to off. Weapon auto cycle, I have this set to off. So the reason I have this set to off is really simple, and I'll give you an example of why. Let me show you why. So if I empty this clip on this guy, what's going to happen is it's going to automatically switch my gun, but I'm so used to switching my guns when I empty my clip to finish an enemy off. What will happen is this right here. I'm going to empty this clip, and then now I can switch to my gun myself and finish this guy off, right? Now, if I have that set the other way, where it auto cycles my gun, what's going to happen is when I empty this clip, it's going to automatically cycle my gun, and then thinking that my gun's empty on the clip, and I'm going to switch my gun, right? So watch what happens. Empty the clip, it switches my guns, but then I instinctively hit the switch gun, and now it brings up the gun with no ammo in it, then it switches it again. So if this happens to you in the middle of a fight, now you're dead, because you switched guns like 3 times, right? Before you finally get a shot off. That time is going to get you killed. But like I said, if you have this set to off, you're already going to switch your guns whenever you hit this flip. Boom, and then you're going to switch and then, fire your next gun, right? Anyways, I'd recommend changing that if you haven't already. Back to the settings. Auto sprint. I have this set to on. Mostly because using the left stick to push down to hit L3 to run, every time you go to run, it will just literally destroy your controller. I've already burned through like 3 controllers from having to spam L2 or L3 on and on and on and on and on just to run. It's just so much easier just to push forward, The only thing is if you want to walk, you have to just slightly tilt the controller, right? But it's really not that big a deal. You'll get used to it. I'd recommend changing that for sure. Double tap to sprint, I have this set to off. Incoming damage feedback 3D. Taking damage closes death box menu. So I have it set to on now. I was running this on off for a while, but the amount of good players I've come across, if they see you in a box, they are literally going to beam you so fast that you will die before you can close that menu yourself. With this set to on, it'll kick you out and make, you can jump out of the box and hopefully try to defend yourself. I just died too many times not being able to close the box in time when all I'm trying to do is armor swap. I go in,
I know more than you'll ever
and
know.
it's just not worth it, There are times when you want to do an armor swap and you're getting hit with something like caustic gas and it closes the box and it's kind of annoying. But I think it's a fair trade-off, to not die to somebody who has, an R301 beamed at your face and you can't close the box fast enough, right? So I have this set to on. Streamer mode off, usage sharing disabled, colorblind mode off, subtitles off, subtitle size normal. Enable accessible chat features set to off. Controller. So I use an Astro C40 controller, which has paddles on the back. There's one on the right and one on the left. And I use the default button layout. My right paddle is set to crouch, and my left paddle is set to jump. If you're using a stock PS4 controller, I'd recommend using button puncher. That way your R3 will be crouched, so you can be running, and then you can slide with R3 and still aim at your enemy, and then uncrouch at the same time if you wanted to while still aiming. It's pretty beneficial to be able to aim and crouch at the same time. To help you with things like crouch spamming and crouching while firing and aiming still. Next up, stick layout default. Interact reload button is tap to use and reload. Crouch I have it set to hold. Some people use toggle, but me personally, I just like the way the animation feels on hold. And I'll give you an example. So I have the ability to change how much I crouch at any one time. So I can start a crouch and do a quick one, or I can do a full crouch. See, and it's pretty useful in certain situations as well. If you are shooting at someone and you're on like a little bit of a high ground peak, you can, if I'm aiming at this guy, I can and then crouch back again with more precision, I guess. I just think it's a little bit better to throw enemies off whenever you're able to crouch spam around walls and stuff. Give hold a shot. It's definitely preference, but in certain situations, whenever you're crouch spamming somebody, I think hold is just the animation's better. Like I said, if you're used to toggle, it's totally up to you to try that. But I just give hold a shot. I'm telling you, it'll definitely improve your gameplay. Aim button L2 set to hold. Button dead zones for your triggers default. Menu cursor speed. This is totally preference. I have mine set to right here for now. If you have it set too high, you're gonna blaze past things in the menu when you're trying to armor swap. You're gonna miss stuff that you're trying to pick up. So set this to something that's comfortable to you. Next, look sensitivity. I have it set to 6, and ADS is 4. My per optic settings for 1 and 2 times optics are both on 4, and everything else is 5. So it's kind of in between my regular look sensitivity. To me personally, this gives me a pretty fair amount of control. When someone is wingman strafing, I can still track them fairly decent. It's something you're gonna have to get used to if you're used to playing on the standard, which I think is a 3-3. Give 6-4 a try, and see how that works for you. Response curve, classic. Look dead zone, small. I was running none for a while, but I was struggling with this ADS sensitivity, hitting all my shots at the medium to long range with guns like the 301 and the 99. So I moved this to small, and I feel like my shot is a little bit better at the medium range now. Movements at dead zone, small. Inverted look off, vibration off. If you're still running with vibration on, you need to turn this off now. The vibration from your controller is going to move your right thumb a little bit. It might not seem like it's affecting you, but it's going to affect your aim a little bit, so turn the vibration off. Brightness set here. I use a BenQ 28-inch monitor with a 1 millisecond delay. This is just what looks good to me on my screen. That's totally preference for you. Field of view set to 110. Like I said, I'm using a PS4 Pro. If you're using a Xbox One X or PS4 Pro, I definitely recommend using 110. If you're on a standard Xbox or a standard PS4, I would recommend using 100 or something around like 96 to 100 and finding the sensitivity that works good for you at that range. Like I said, I'm on 110, and sprint view shake is set to minimal. Last tab is the audio tab. Master volume should be 100%, and sound effects should always be 100%. Dialogue volume, I have this set to pretty low. And then the music volume, also have set really low. Lobby music is also set pretty low because, I mean, you're not really jamming out in the lobby too often anyways. So, Voice chat off, and incoming voice to chat text is off. Alright, and that's it for the settings. The next thing I wanted to talk about just real briefly is people who are struggling with recoil patterns. For certain guns, there's a way to use your strafe to help assist in the recoil control. So, for instance, the flatline, I have a purple mag so you can see the whole clip. This is what it's going to do if you don't touch it at all, right? Up to the left, and then back to the right. So, if I wanted to, I can eliminate a lot of this just by strafing when I'm looking at a target. So if I just hold down on the stick a little bit whenever it starts firing, I'll show you what that looks like. Alright, so it's going to move to the left and then back straight and then up and then to the left a little bit and then back to the right. So if I'm trying to one clip this guy at the start of my clip, if I just strafe to the right a little bit when I start firing, and I'm just holding down on the stick a little bit and not really controlling aim. Say this guy's in a death box right now. I can just do this. I just strafe to the right a little bit. That's all I did. And now obviously enemies are going to be moving, and you know what I mean, and you're going to be moving as well. But knowing that, you know, your recoil when you start is going to kick you to the left in this gun, start your strafe to the right. You know what I mean? That's going to help you control that first bit of recoil. The R99, on the other hand, is a little bit different. This gun's going to kick up to the right and then back to the left a little bit. Here, I'll show you. Alright, so you see it goes up to the right a little bit and then back up, and then it has this big blob at the top. So on this, if it's going to go up and then kick to the right, I'm going to start my strafe to the left. You know, and then level it out. That was a bad example, but you get what I'm saying here. Sorry, I'm not really warmed up, but knowing that the gun's going to kick to the right a little bit will help you control the recoil. See, I just strafed to the left a little bit and then back to the right a little bit. And with the flat line, it's the opposite. So we're going to strafe to the right. See? I think the Prowler is very similar to the 99, but it's the opposite. Let's see. The Prowler's it's going to go up to the left and then back up to the right. Oh, I don't have a select fire. Whoops. Let me grab one real quick so I can show you guys. So the Prowler's going to go up to the left and then back to the right. Okay. So for this one, we're going to strafe to the right and then back to the left. Now, it's not always going to work, and it's just something to keep in mind, but this is going to help you guys if you're pretty new to trying to control the recoil. Come into the training room, grab a couple guns that are really important guns right now, which is guns like the Prowler, the Flatline, the R99, the R301, and the Havoc. The Havoc is just disgusting right now. This gun is literally, it's broken. You literally don't even have to do anything. You just kind of hold down the stick. Like I'm barely even trying to control recoil here. It's just a laser beam. You don't have to do anything. It just shoots straight. You know? Here's an example of me not touching it. It's gonna go pretty high. But it's almost completely straight up. Now if we just slightly hold down, I mean, that's broken. You know what I mean? But like I said, guns you should be using right now, Prowler, you know, and the Havoc. I mean, that's just insane. And you can beam people pretty far with with the Havoc right now. It's just, as long as your first shot is on, I mean, misses a lot of shots there, but you get what I'm saying. It's really strong. The recoil is really easy to use. So if you're new to the game, pick up a Havoc. It's really good. It has a little bit of a charge up time, but once it gets going, it's disgusting. Anyways, guys, hope this helped you out. Come in the training room, test out my settings. Let me know if they work for you guys. Test out some of these guns. Try to control the recoil on them and see if the strafing pattern helps you guys. All right, thanks a lot, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.